So if you've picked up the guitar and you're ready to learn chords, learn these. These 4 chords appear in thousands of songs, and they make that you can play hundreds of beginner songs very easily using just these 4 chords. Today I'm going to show you what those 4 chords are and exactly how to play them. The essential chords that I think you should be learning right now are going to be G major, D major, E minor, and C add 9. If you'd like a comprehensive collection of these chords, as well as exercises, ways to practice, and a clear roadmap on what you should be learning in your first 3 months of guitar playing, I've got a free PDF that I've written, linked in the top comment. So why do I recommend these 4 chords? Well, not only can you play hundreds of songs using only those chords, the transitions between them are very easy, and they're going to sound good together no matter which order you play them in. So for the first chord, we're going to look at the G major chord. You're going to place your pinky on the 3rd fret of the high E string. You'll place your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the B string. Your middle finger is going to go all the way to the top on the 3rd fret of the thick E string, and your index finger is on the 2nd fret of the A string. And in this chord, we strum all 6 strings. It's important with chords like these to make sure that you are arching your fingers. Don't flatten them in that kind of fashion. Instead, bend them like this. What you want to be doing is playing the chord with the very tip of your finger, and what that will do is, as you're pressing the chord down, your fingers are going to come straight off the fretboard and bend at the first joint. That's going to help you get much cleaner and clearer chords. If you feel like the stretch is too big for you and you are reaching out like that and you can't get these 2 fingers, your middle finger and your index finger, to curve properly, that doesn't mean that you need to stretch your hand more. Instead, what you got to do is reposition your thumb, and in my case, how I'm holding the chord now is to pull your wrist upward. That's going to allow your fingers much more room and prevent your hand from needing to stretch. Next, we'll look at C add 9. This is a very easy chord to learn once you've learned that G major shape that we just looked at. All you're going to do from your G major shape is take your middle finger and your index finger and move them each down a string. That means your middle finger is now going to be on the 3rd fret of the A string, and your index finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the D string. For this chord, we skip the thick E string when we strum, and we strum 5 strings down starting at the A string, and it sounds like this. So the same things apply as the G major chord. Make sure that you're pressing the chord with the tips of your fingers so that you're not killing other strings. And if that stretch is again feeling very far up the fretboard, make sure that you're rotating your wrist to a point where it's comfortable for you to actually play and that your chords ring out cleanly. So why the C add 9 chord instead of a regular C major chord? Well, 2 reasons primarily. First reason is going from G to C add 9 is a very easy switch to do. And the second thing is C add 9 has a much brighter and happier quality to it, so it is a very nice chord to learn off the get-go. Next, we're going to learn the D major chord, and this is also a very valuable chord to know because it also appears in hundreds of different songs, whether in the same chord progression as what we're learning now, or just various other chord progressions. Loads of songs use this chord. Very simple to play. You're going to take your middle finger, 2nd fret of the high E string, your index finger, 2nd fret of G, and your ring finger, 3rd fret of the B string. For this chord, we're skipping both the E and the A string, so you're only strumming 4 strings down starting at D. Similarly, for this chord, you also want to be playing with the very tips of your fingers to prevent your fingers from killing notes on the other strings. You would like them to ring out cleanly. And it's also very important as you're strumming through this chord to make sure that you are missing both the E and the A strings, because they can make the chord sound out of tune. And finally, the E minor chord. This is going to be the easiest beginner guitar chord because we're only using 2 fingers. So there are multiple ways to actually play this chord, but my recommendation when learning is going to be to use your middle finger and your ring finger, because as we start learning more chords, we are going to be adding onto the E minor shape, and we would like our index finger and our pinky to be free so that we can build those chords. So the shape of this chord, you're going to be placing your middle finger 2nd fret of the A string, and your ring finger 2nd fret of the D string, and you're going to strum all 6 strings through. So how do we practice chords like these? You can use a chord clock. So I will place an image of a chord clock on screen and explain that to you right now. So essentially the chord in the middle is going to be what we would call our focus or our target chord. That's the chord that we have identified that we struggle with the most. And around it you can see that we have placed all the other chords. So functionally how this works is, you would start at the chord in the middle, play that once, let's say G. Then you would move to the chord that's at 12 o'clock, which is C add 9. Then you'd move back to the chord in the middle, which is G. You move on to the next chord going clockwise, which is D. Then you move back to the chord in the middle, which is G. And so on and so forth. Now it's important to realize when going between G major, C add 9 and D major that we actually have anchor fingers here. So in G major, you can take a look at both my ring finger and my pinky finger when switching to C add 9. Those are obviously staying in the same position. However, when we're going to D major, what happens is my ring finger is also staying in the same position as an anchor finger. So whether I'm going from G to D, my ring finger has remained there, or if I'm going from C add 9 to D, my ring finger has remained there. That makes transitioning between those chords much simpler, and it also ends up helping you with transitions as you go forward because you're going to be learning additional chords that use a similar anchor point. So it's very important to focus on that anchor point right now. What I do for my students when they struggle to maintain an anchor position like that is to take your right hand. We're not going to be strumming the chords. Instead, all you'll do at this point is you're going to take your index finger from your right hand, place that on top of the anchor finger, and then try to swap the chords. So this right hand finger that I'm placing on top of the anchor is actually going to be telling my brain to remember that this finger stays in that position as I'm switching between those chords. I built an interactive chord clock, the link for which you can find in the pinned comment right next to that free PDFs link. If you're a beginner, I absolutely recommend grabbing that free PDF so that you know what to learn and how to learn it in your first 3 months of guitar playing. Focused and dedicated practice and knowing where to go is going to get you much further, much faster than just noodling around or trying to find particular lesson structures. It's always best to learn at your own pace, and a resource like that will allow you to focus on things in your own time. In the next video, we'll talk about strumming patterns and how to get good strumming patterns out so that we can create variation and rhythm in our chords. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.